Hello, welcome to the Roy Rogers News Channel. Anyway, today there's a brand new revamp of the studio. So I'm going to take you through a small, I don't know, probably a 30-second tour. By the way, I've been working hard for this chair. 8,000 ash is pretty expensive for a chair like that, or 6,000 ash, well, whatever. But that chair was expensive. Okay, as you can tell, I went ahead and redecorated my table there, and this is going to be our brand new little interview table. So that means if any guests come into my channel, they'll be interviewed there. Alright, 30-second tour is over, and now it is time to advertise. Here's a shop of the day, sorry. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, so sorry about my stuttering. Glumac Comp Shop. Now this is actually, I think, one of the more organized shops. So here you may want to take some of the comps that may have not been touched. That's my recommendation. Or if it is touched, and if you are wealthy enough, and if you feel that you can risk a little bit, then go ahead and go to the shop. I mean, if you feel that you can get your hands on a really good comp, go ahead, knock yourself out in this shop. I'll go ahead and put a link to it. Otherwise, here are the headlines of the day. Okay. Headline number 1 and 2. Two staff members have decided to take a leave of absence. So, and I think this is at the same time. If I remember correctly, I think Jindu and Karkel left at the same time, so yeah. There's headline number 1, there's Jindu, and there's Karkel. Both of them are not staff anymore, they're members, and yeah. I'm not too sure if they retired, or if they want to come back and maybe join the staff lounge again. I don't know. And now, let's go ahead and get to some of the more well talked about headlines. Alright, so our last program, if you all remember, Breloom was moved over to OU, and you remember all that. Anyway, these pokes are closed. The discussion is closed, as you can see by the locks over here. If you see any locks here, then that means the conversation is closed, and they have already made a decision. Breloom's going to stay at UU, as far as the Tier List Council wants Breloom to stay. Lapras is going to stay in UU as well, which is going to, well, ruin fame for Walrein, because people, I've talked to some competitive people, they say the reason why we use Walrein is because it's like the UU version of a Lapras or a Vaporeon, and since Lapras is going to stay in UU, I don't know if Walrein's going to still be continued, or if people are going to abandon Walrein and go over to Lapras. Azumarill who cares? Hidden Power Ghost no longer is effective, so investing in the Zoom roll, although you can replace Hidden Power Ghost with Waterfall, and it'll hit hard, especially if a Zoom roll has huge power. That's a little thing to note. Umbreon gonna remain at UU. Umbreon is gonna be like that dark type tank that withstands a lot in UU. But it's not like a Blissey though, which is good. There are some counters for Umbreon, like Hitmonlee, and there has been some talks about Blaziken moving over to UU, but we don't know yet. We'll get that as it develops. Executor is like one of those Pokemon that you have to be careful with. Hence the reason why it got moved over to UU. Because, think about it. Executor is a grass and psychic type. There are tons and tons of weaknesses out there. I mean, I could name some of them right off the bat. There's a 4 times weakness to Bug, which, if you have single beam and stuff, pretty much Executor is over. Bug, Poison, Ice, Fire, etc., etc. And, you know, it's not really... Executor is not really practical. Especially if you're just getting into the competitive scene. Executor is good when you know how to use it. Yeah. And it can even be mastered in UU. Like, for instance, there could always be like that one Pokemon that just says, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and one day just trash Executor. And yeah, Executor is kind of a joke. Alright, next. Kangaskhan. Okay, Kangaskhan is going to remain in UU. Kangaskhan, I remember, I'm not too sure if Senile was joking or not, but he mentioned it as like a Tyranitar of the UU. Meaning that he didn't want to move it over to UU. This time, the Tier List Council has decided to do just that. Move it over to UU. So, this is going to be interesting. Unless Umbreon, or Breloom for the matter, since Breloom is going to remain in UU, might just counter Umbreon and Kanga. Just a thought. If you notice that some of these Pokemon in the list, they actually counter each other. Like, for instance, Breloom counters Umbreon, and Executor counters Lapras, but yet Umbreon and Kanga, because Kanga has Crunch, can counter Executor. And what counters Breloom, you may ask? Well, I don't think the counter's on the list, but I'm sure that there's some flying counter for Breloom. Okay, moving on. And actually, the meat of the program is right here. Snorlax, and my take towards the Tier List Council decision. Okay. What do I think about the whole testing period for Snorlax? What do I think about the whole banning process for Snorlax? And what do I think? Well, first off, there's going to be overuse of Blissey. Because Blissey's like the alternative to Snorlax. It's almost like let's just say, for an example, that Walmart went out of business. You know, Snorlax is like Walmart. For anyone that doesn't live in America, Walmart is a big, big store. And Target, which is another American store, not as famous as Walmart, but it's still famous. But Target is almost like Blissey. Walmart, it's too big. Walmart is just too big, and the government decided to, well, ban Walmart from being used. So, where do people go to next? Well, they go to Target. This is a good example of what's going on right now. Snorlax is going to be temporarily banned from April 12th to May 11th. Not to add, that is my birthday, April 12th, so, yeah. Can't believe they actually did that on my birthday, but, you know, it's a little gift, I guess, from Pokemon, a little headline there. Pokemon is going to do this very controversial thing, and I've talked to a lot of people that were for it and a lot of people that were against it. Some people that were for it claim that, you know, that this will make alternative plans, or this could possibly make other people think a little bit more and think about what tactics to use. And the people that were against it say that there's always Blissey. That's their argument. There's always Blissey. What's my intake on it? Well, not only I think I kind of said my intake, but I'm going to go and say the rest of my opinion on this. If someone is looking for a physically defensive wall, because let's go and face it, Blissey is not in any way, shape, or form special defense. Snorlax is like special defense and defense. Throw it in the blender. There you go. There's Snorlax. Blissey can only specialize in special defense, but not in defense. If you hit Blissey with defense, you're gonna hit Blissey pretty hard. Okay, and if you want a defensive wall, and this is just the extent of my opinion. Since Miltank has came out, I figured that maybe, just maybe, Miltank may be the next generation of Snorlax. I know I'm going to get a lot of controversial comments on that, but I think that Miltank is like almost like the defensive version of, well, actually I wouldn't say Snorlax. Snorlax is like both defense and special defense. Defense version of Blissey. You know, and you get to learn how to juggle the two Pokemon, the two walls. Miltank can curse, only problem, can't handle a surf very well. Then you get Blissey. Blissey Miltank, Blissey Miltank, Blissey Miltank. And we're going to keep seeing this, I think. If Miltank gets moved over to OU, there's still a discussion about it, but I've sided in the Miltank section why I think that the Miltank may need to be moved over to OU. So yeah. I'm not going to infringe my opinion on you anymore, and I'm just gonna say this: Snorlax is test banned. That's all we need to know. And that's gonna be it for our channel. Don't forget to visit. There we go. I'm gonna advertise this twice. I don't usually advertise twice, but go ahead and visit the shop. You know, because this shop may have some comps that you may want. Like, for instance, some of you all may want Gardevoir. Or maybe some of you want a Ludicolo. Well, this guy has 3 Ludicolos. You know. Or even better, you may even want a Metagross. This guy has 2 Metagrosses. So, there you go. And he has it all listed over here out of the convenience of your own wallet. There you go. So, yeah. Go ahead and look here if you're into the competitive scene. Anyway, thank you for. And I'll go ahead and provide the link in the description below, like I always do. And thank you for tuning in to the Roy Rogers News channel. Don't forget to comment or subscribe to my channel, like or dislike the content that you see here. And this is the Roy Rogers News channel, signing off.